Welcome to the Social Stack, your go-to channel for real estate marketing based in technology. I'm Amy Stack, and today we're recording a mastermind session of client appreciation events. We know in today's world that things are looking a little different. Some people have been doing client events and are looking for new ideas to keep them safe. Some people are starting to incorporate them into their business for the first time. So we've got this group of people together to talk about all things event related. So I would love to hear from you guys what you are looking to get out of today. Who wants to go first? Nobody has any goals today?
Hi, Amy. I'll go first.
Perfect.
So I am a newer agent. I'm just starting my second year in real estate as an agent. I've been in the industry for 20 some years as a real estate paralegal, but so I'm new. So I'm not really looking, I mean, I don't have a ton of clients obviously yet, but I was looking to do some sort of an event that I can invite past clients as well as my sphere.
Okay.
So that's kind of why I jumped on here, because I was just trying to come up with some ideas for that.
I love it. What else? I see Deborah wrote in the chat, fresh ideas that not everyone in my region does. All right, so Deborah, we're gonna have to have you tell us what those things are that everybody's already doing, because maybe we're doing other stuff and your stuff's new to us. All right, anything else that you guys are wanting? Oh, food trucks, wineries, beer halls. That's what she typed in the chat.
Amy, I would say for us, it's mainly the system behind client events, right? I think it's easy to choose a client event and just put it out there, but like anything else, you know, open houses, door knocking, there should be a system behind it that you're following up, you're having specific amount of touches, and what those channels are. There's so many options, right? We've got MailChimp, we got Command Email, we got Sign Up Genius, right? There's a lot of different opportunities that we can utilize. So just trying to get ideas on what maybe other people may be utilizing that we can try to incorporate ourselves.
Perfect. Yeah. And me personally, whenever I'm doing event planning, I kind of think about what do I have to do before, during, and after, because it's not just the day of the event, right? You have some prep work that goes into it. And if you want something during the event, like some sort of lead capture, well, you probably have to have that set up before the event starts. And then after the event, you still have another opportunity to reach out to your clients. Those that didn't come, so sorry we missed you. Those that did come, so happy to see you. And like, let's give them an added piece of value. We can't wait to see you at the next thing, or here's this information I can share with you about your neighborhood, you know, something like that. Maybe a coupon if it was a sponsored event by a local business, right? All kinds of fun things you can do to follow up. I know that's something a lot of people struggle with, is they have the event and then never talk about it again, right? All right, any other goals that you guys have right now for today? I'm sure we all have lots of goals, right?
I'm looking to just gain all the information that I can from you guys, and not necessarily do like client events, but more or less community events to gain clients in my farm where I've just moved to.
Perfect. Yeah, because there's client appreciation and then there's client growth, right? There's lots of different things you can do, and sometimes you can combine them. Does anybody do something that they look to bring new people in and invite their current clients to? Anybody doing anything like that? Noelle's nodding. Perfect. All right. Well, I am, because you brought something up, I'm pulling up on another screen. I have a blog article that I wrote that I'm going to get the link for and put in the chat that has 10 ideas for different types of socially distant, safe events. So I'm going to work on pulling that up. And I would love to start with that first question we had of inviting your past and your sphere, just along with this conversation we kind of just segued out of, is how do you guys go about targeting your past clients in your sphere when you are creating an event? Do you have a system around it? How do you know who to reach out to? How do you qualify who you invite to these types of events?
I would think that who you reach out to, you would do by the tags you have in Command, tagging those people. I would think that would be how you would target them.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it. I know not everybody uses Command, not everybody's at KW. So if you guys have a database, which you all should, definitely think of ways to group people together to easily identify who you wanted to invite to these things. I know a lot of people that use a tag or a group that is like the top 20% of their database, right? We know that 80% of our business comes from 20% of our contacts. So let's quickly identify who that top 20 is. So make sure you're using some sort of tag like that. What else are you guys doing to figure out who to invite?
I think it really depends on the budget and the goal, right? That can make a big difference. You know, a lot of people do client events that are just for past clients. We've done some for our VIPs. So it's not necessarily people that have bought and sold with us, but people that have referred us to other clients.
Yeah.
And then we're currently working on one right now that's just complete outreach, right? Past clients, referral partners, our sphere of influence, right? Just mainly to get that brand awareness out there and create some additional engagement.
Yeah, and Noel, I think you made a fantastic point there where you have to do some planning before you do the actual event planning, right? You need to know what you're going to spend. You need to make that goal and have an idea of why you're having the event. What are you looking to get out of it? Because that will dictate who you invite to it. And keep in mind, when you guys are setting budgets, you don't have to foot the whole bill for these events. Talk to your allied partners, right? Attorneys, lenders, inspectors, whoever, especially if you're doing an event that's some sort of class. Because, you know, events aren't just the food trucks and paying for alcohol or paying for food, right? It could be an education piece. It could be partnering with a local hardware store and having them teach how to do like the 5 or 10 most common things that come up on an inspection report. Like, how can we do that ourselves and save, you know, or your clients do it themselves and save them some money instead of having to hire a handyman to come in, replace an outlet, you know, put a cover on a light bulb. Those little types of things, drywall patches, right? So that's something that would be valuable to a homeowner, especially somebody looking to sell, right? Maybe curb appeal updates. And that's something that's not necessarily a big expense. Or if you are doing something like that, where you're having food brought in or you're getting prizes away, something like that, see if the store that's hosting it or the handyman that you like to refer out or the inspector you like to refer out will sponsor it, right? Or at least help cover part of the cost with you. So think about that when you're doing your planning.
You know, when you said curb appeal,
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about this before, but you could partner with a garden center at the beginning of the spring season, and then, you know, see if they would do a coupon on anything purchased that day, you know, from the garden center.
Absolutely, a coupon that day, or maybe do a grand prize, do it like a door prize, and somebody gets like a kit of something, right, to go take to their home. It doesn't have to be plants. It could be money towards plants. It could be, you know, those welcome and home sweet home signs are really popular right now. It could be something like that, right? Great idea, Patty. All right, what else are you guys thinking about on that topic? Are we ready to go on to the next question? I'm going to say we're going on to the next one. So one was new ideas. Let's talk about the system a little bit before we get into new ideas, because I'm sure we're going to have lots of ideas pop up. So Noelle's already doing client events, and it sounds like Deborah's already doing them. Is anybody else currently doing them or has done them in the past that it's been part of your business for lead gen or client retention? Not yet. Okay. So from you two that are doing them, what are some things that you've put in place, even if you don't feel like you're 100% systematized? What are some things that you feel like have come up that are something you're doing every time? Carly says community events, too few past clients. Okay, I'm going to segue a little bit. So Carly, you brought up a good point here, is that you also, you know, we were talking about you don't have to pay for the whole event, get a sponsor. You can also leverage things like community events and tell people you're going to be at this and you are helping, whether you're sponsoring it or not, or you have a booth at it, just let them grow awareness around it. It shows that you're ingrained in the community. But maybe if you have a booth there, or you're going to be there walking around and experiencing it yourself, have them come find you. Do something like take a picture with you and post it on social media, and you're going to pull a random name, or the picture with the most likes wins something fun, right?
Right. Well, I mean, I have hosted several community events
Okay.
because I had the opportunity to take over for the HOA. So there's a pool opening, national night out. I'm doing Paws in the Pool, neighborhood watch lunch.
Great.
But yeah, I found some partnership, but it's been a lot of expense, and I know it's a long-term, gain, but I'm sure I'm not leveraging the leads that I've gotten from these events as well as I should. So
So
and client events, I just mentioned, yeah, if I had a client events, it'd be a real small setting. I haven't had that many clients. So I'm trying to get more clients. So people do know my name. Oh, and I sponsor the community garage sale. So people do know my name, but so far everybody's still picking other realtors. So I'm just going to keep going.
So how do we provide them value? And then you nailed it. Follow up with them, right? Because if they see you once and never see you again, how do they remember that you're the person that's right for them, right? They should be reaching out to.
As a follow-up to an event in a community, could a monthly or quarterly market report that you put in a bag on their front door be something that's a follow-up?
Totally. And if you want, so at Keller Williams, we have the ability to do a monthly or a bi-weekly neighborhood nurture. So at your event, you could have a form ready to go, whether it's a physical form that people are writing on, or you want to do like a landing page or have somebody scan a QR code. It doesn't matter. Get the information. Ask the people if they would like to receive monthly updates on what the market is like in their specific area. Right? Then get them on that drip. And that's something that you can set up one time and it just continues to run. So that's really easy, a really easy multiple drip situation, right? You get at least 12 touches a year that way.
I have done that for anyone who filled out the email address, but I'm not sure what else to do to continue to build a relationship with them, so.
Do you use other smart plans?
No.
So that's something to look into. There are a few smart plans that I recommend everybody uses, like birthday, anniversary, the monthly nurture, quarterly call plan. So that is a number of touches already, but you can build special ones that are custom to how you met them, or what you know about them, or what town they're in. You can do a monthly newsletter, which we did a mastermind on that last month, on how to make a newsletter, what type of content, where you can outsource them to if you don't want to do it yourself. So that's always a popular topic that I get questions on as well.
Can you put the link to that training?
Sure, let me find it and
Okay.
I drop it in the chat. We got a couple of those ones.
I think I saw one of yours on the zine itself, but a link
I've
to
done
how
that.
to do a community newsletter would be good.
Yeah.
One of the things that is really low budget is join Nextdoor and join your neighborhood.
Yeah.
And every time someone's looking for a contract or a recommendation for someone, be the first one to respond with a recommendation.
Yes. Say more about that. Sounds like you've done that.
You can actually pay to be a sponsor, which is pointless because it doesn't work. But I belong to several neighborhoods around me. And so if someone's looking for someone to clean their gutters, mow their lawn, do basic handyman service, our team has a list of verified contractors that we've personally vetted. So we can recommend those people and say, we have this list because we're a real estate firm, but we've also personally used them.
Mm-hmm.
And that has gotten us, people come to us now and say, who do you use for X? I'm not having to sit on Nextdoor all the time going, who's looking for a contractor I need to talk to?
Right.
So
And then-
Deborah, how did you build that list? Like I have a lot, I'm trying to focus on local people, in my area.
Mhm.
But I don't know how well of a job most of them do. There's always recommendations, but there's always someone else who says they didn't do a good job. So how did you build that list?
Well, we're a pretty big team. There's 8 of us, soon to be 10, and everybody
Oh.
knows somebody who does something.
Got it.
And
Okay.
my husband and I personally vet them with projects, either in our rentals or personal homes. We see what they do. We send them out to one client. We get a feedback. What did you like? What didn't you like? Would you hire them again? And our clients know that if they did a lousy job, that they're to call us immediately because they get yanked off the list.
Okay.
So we're very tight on who we recommend. If I don't trust them in my home, I'm certainly not sending them to a client.
Yeah.
I just think when you're trying to start it, it's a little more challenging, but I did watch another training which says you can call your sphere and ask them in the area and ask them who they know. So
And-
I'm thinking
and go
about
back-
trying that.
And go back to some of the more tenured agents in your office, because they will have a list as well of people that they trust and they know.
Definitely.
That's a good idea. Thank you.
A couple of things to add on to that about the vendors specifically is definitely, like Deborah said, ask around your office as well, right? But you can leverage your vendors for business as well. Think about it, if you're sending them referrals all the time, well, ask for some referrals back, right? I know agents that have built their business off of making a goal to send 2 or 3 referrals a week to businesses specifically, and to get at least 1 in return every week. So that's something you can do that would leverage not necessarily the client events. I mean, it could, because you might be sending people to them from the events, but that's just another fun little tip. The other thing, just flew right out of my head. We were talking about, I don't know, it'll come back to me. How do we start this before the vendors? Put together a vendor list. I don't know, it'll come back to me. Oh, we were talking about, Deborah also brought up the great point of Nextdoor, right? How she started in Nextdoor and commented on who she liked to use for different types of things. You guys can do that in Facebook groups or communities as well. So go to those local neighborhood groups, start your own neighborhood group, and just be the agent that's there to provide the information. And a little like pro tip on that is every time you comment, put like, Carly, your local, what town are you in?
Commerce City,
Okay,
Colorado.
Carly, your Commerce City agent, right? And do that every single time, because that will help with SEO. So that will
Okay.
help you start popping up in front of other people. when they're-
Also, you can rename yourself in Nextdoor, like mine says Melanie Betancourt, local San Carlos Park Realtor. So every time I make a comment, it says that at the top of everything.
There you go.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Double pro tip, you guys. It's a mastermind. All right, I did post that blog link right inside the chat of some social distancing safe events for you guys for some inspiration for something a little different. Do you guys want to keep talking about systems? You want to look at just ideas? What are we thinking?
Why don't we go to ideas and then we can come back to systems before we're done.
Okay, so I sent you all that link, so if you guys want to click on it and look at it, you can have that pulled up. I wrote up these 10 different ideas and I had people vote on which one they wanted to actually see like an event recipe for, which Patty, go figure, leads right into systems, right? So then I wrote a follow-up article on the lemonade stand idea on how like step-by-step suggestions and things you could do to organize that event. So let me grab that link as well and I'll post that in the chat. And 1 second, here it is. I just called it the formula to success. I'll post that in the chat as well. So now you guys have those links too. All right. So the first one, lemonade stand. This one is something that you guys have probably heard of. Maybe it's been called something different, but basically you're not really going anywhere. You can do this at the end of your own driveway. Just put up your lemonade stand or whatever it is that you want to do and encourage your clients to come by and visit you, put open house signs around the town, post in the local neighborhood groups or next door groups that you're doing this event just to, have something fun going on. It's still nice out. Have people swing by to learn about what's going on in the market, to grab a cup of lemonade or a beer or whatever it is that you want to offer. and have them come to you. But the thing is that you're definitely going to have to engage as people. Some people might just walk by because they're in the area. So reach out to them, say hi, start the conversation, right? So that's the lemonade stand idea. One was organizing your own social distance parade. I know this was really popular a little while back now, but it doesn't have to be for a graduation or, like some sort of celebration that somebody's missing out on. It could be in appreciation of something. We have holidays that come up. We have, maybe you want to celebrate teachers or veterans or, just nurses, anything like that. If there's a presence of something in your community that you think should be celebrated, stop by their homes, right? In a parade, have people that want to celebrate the same people that you want to celebrate, get in the parade, get balloons, make posters. And that's an easy way to engage in the community as well. And you will likely be able to find people that, like you call one person and they're gonna be like, oh, well, I have this friend who, right? And that's a new connection for you. So that was kind of a fun thing to put together. Drive-ins in your backyards, those are pretty easy. Create a themed photo booth, tell people you're doing with something with fun props, go to the dollar store, get cheap props that people can take with them so you don't have to worry about, wiping stuff down all the time. Trivia nights, you can do that on Zoom or in person. Bingo, you can do on Zoom or in person. Creating a scavenger hunt, and you can do that again in Zoom and people can hunt in their own home, or you can plant things throughout the town and have people take pictures and post it on social media, and then they can participate on their own time. Noel said, oh, okay, he has to run. Oh, all right. Well, check out the second link. Oh. And then let's see, host virtual cook-offs. Have you guys seen, oh my gosh, I always forget, it's not Chopped, maybe it is, when you're given a list of a specific ingredients and the contestant, yeah, Mark's nodding. Is that what it is? Is that Chopped?
Yes.
Okay, so you get like a list of specific ingredients and everybody has to make something out of it, right? So there's a way to do that virtually as well. Book clubs, happy hours, and I mean, we could just keep going on. Those were just like the 10 that I picked, but does anybody have thoughts on that, or did that spark ideas for other types of events for you guys?
Something that I heard or read the other day was for Halloween, like especially in the Midwest where it tends to be cold on Halloween, is sponsor a food truck in your, or I mean, not a food truck, a coffee truck in your neighborhood that the moms and dads can grab coffee as or hot chocolate as they're walking around. I thought that was kind of a good idea.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people do reverse trick-or-treating, although I don't know why they call it reverse. They should just call it adult trick-or-treating. So the kids come up for candy and then they'll have something for the adults too, whether it's like a little tchotchke with, like a, I don't know, something fun, like what are the jar opener things, right? And it says like, get a grip on the market, right? Some fun little thing like that has your information on it, or a beer or a market stat flyer. I guess not, or always have something about, somebody's going to ask you, how's the market? Have something to give to them, right? I love that, Katie. What other types of events did that spark? Any ideas, or did you have questions about any of the ones that I mentioned? I'm looking through the sheet again here.
I haven't done a client event, but I'm just wondering how big of a deal is it to get a sponsor? Do the allied partners usually go along with that, or is it a tough sell?
So it depends on your relationship and what you're asking for, right? So usually they want to get involved if it's something simple and you really just want them there for knowledge base. Like if you're teaching a class and you want them to be able to talk to the financial side of things, that's gonna be a lot easier than saying, hey, can you sponsor this $10,000 event?
Right.
And also, if you never talk to them or have never given them any business and it's coming out of the blue, that's going to be harder than if you have at least been in relationship with them, even if they haven't. And you can say, I haven't given you any leads yet. However, any leads that I get from this event, you will be my go-to lender for those transactions, right?
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Or, you know, I use a lender as an example, but same thing for anybody. What other thoughts and questions do you guys have around events?
How soon after an event do you start following up, and in your experience, what does that look like?
What do you guys do for open houses? Because those are events. How soon do you follow up after an open house?
Same day or next?
Why would it be any different?
That's true.
Right. Some people think like, oh, I've never done events before. If you've done an open house, you've done an event, right? Or a broker tour. It's just how do we scale that? What are some of your guys' favorite tools for maybe advertising open houses or collect open houses, just events in general, or collecting registration information? Anything you guys have been using that you like?
This is a really quiet.
Mm-hmm. Maybe because
Well, for my open houses, I have the open house app that I use that I have them sign in on. And then it just basically it asks for their name, phone number, email address, and then I think there's like 3 or 4 questions.
okay. And it's just an app that you can find in like the App Store or the Play Store?
And I just have I have an iPad with a keyboard, and they can just type everything in right there, and it just I have it all.
And then what do you do with it? All the information that comes in?
Then I send out my thank yous the next day, you know, for those that were, I mean, I send everybody a thank you for coming to the open house. And then obviously those that are leads, I follow up additionally with them.
And do you have a database right now?
Yes,
Do you put them in there?
I do.
And then you have to manually move it. Lynn, are you at KW?
Yes, I am. I'm in Innovate in Aurora.
Oh, perfect. So something you can do is make a lead capture form in Command and use that form at the open house. So when the leads come in, they automatically go into Command for you. So you don't have to manually enter them into the database.
Oh,
Yeah, and then if you go in and tag them, so let's pretend you built a smart plan that has a trigger of open house. So they automatically go into the database for you. You can that day, all you would have to do is then go in, find all your new leads that came in, do a bulk add tag, add the tag open house, and then that smart plan you already have set up will run. So you don't have to send 15 individual emails. It will just run for you. The system will do it for you.
oh, okay. So when I go into the smart plan library, just put in like,
You can look for open house. There's a bunch of open house plans.
yeah,
You
okay.
can build your own from scratch, of course, but why recreate the wheel when there's a template out there already?
Right.
Obviously, if you're going to use one in the library, just take a look at it, make sure it sounds like you, it's got the information in it that you want. But yeah, that could save you some time and start some automation for you. And
Perfect.
along the same idea, you can do that same thing for any event. So if you want people to come check in at your event, have that lead form set up. And if it's, so that this would be more for something where you're looking for new people, right? Obviously, if they're already clients, you're not worried about them getting into your database, they're already in there, right? But if you're doing like one of those community events and you're wanting to follow up with the people that are attending the event, have the form, have them fill it out, they'll automatically go in the database. And this is, you can do this at, you know, a lot of different databases will do this. So just if you don't use Command, just check to see if that's a function of your database. And the lead would automatically go in, so you don't have to deal with afterwards going through and typing everybody's information in there. It's just in the system ready to go. And then this is where the planning ahead of time comes into play, because if you build out a follow-up plan before the event, then you already have it ready to run after the event. So you could have an email set up and ready to go saying, thank you so much for coming. It was so great to see you. You know, I give them some more information, something related to the event. Like, let's say it was what we were talking about at the beginning with doing a workshop on things to help improve their home or fix little things that inspectors come up with. Like, are you thinking of selling in the next, 12 months, or when are you thinking of selling, right? And if they say they're not, then you can ask them, well, what price would make you want to sell, right? But you've started that dialogue with them. Because if they're coming to something like that, chances are it's like either in the back of their mind, or they have it's either they have a bunch of work to do on the house, or they're thinking about getting it ready to sell down the line, right? So you got to aim the questions or steer the questions around the event. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Perfect. And then it doesn't have to be just one email. You could have a step that's a text. You can have a step that's, hey, send a thank you card, and you can send a handwritten card to them. And then you can do something that's like in command again. You can, when one smart plan ends, you can have a step that says add them to this other smart plan. And maybe you have a smart plan set up about, home improvement tips. That's always ready to go for anybody that might be interested in that. And so you run through your plan for the event follow-up. Now this is done. I did my event on how to do some quick stuff around the house. I have this other plan that I've also created, so that is about the same topic. So I'm going to automatically add it to that plan. And maybe you have, 8, 10, 12 steps that go out, little tips that go out once a month or something to just stay top of mind.
So that could be more, that could transition from an immediate follow-up to kind of a midterm kind of nurture.
Yeah, so, and it depends. The reason I like having the multiple smart plans to choose from is because maybe you find somebody that's ready to go right now, right? Well, you're not going to put them on a smart plan that is like, oh, well, when you're looking to sell next year, right? You want to give them, well, okay, you're thinking of selling right now. Here are the 10 things I think all sellers need to know, or here's the top 10 things you need to know as somebody who's selling their home, right? And that can be one tip a week for 10 weeks versus one tip a month for 12 months, right? You get that frequency in there. And then they're like, oh, that's a great tip. Oh, I should call Patty. Oh, something like that, right? So you have lots of different options with that. Fortune is in the follow-up, my friends.
When we were talking about whether something is a client appreciation or a client growth event, one thing that came to mind was having a client appreciation event where everyone is to bring at least one friend.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then that, that combines both. So they have somebody who's already pleased with your service and they bring along a friend, and whether that person is ready to buy or sell or invest, now you've got 150 of their friends and, in their mind.
Well, and take that to the next level. Maybe do a raffle during your event and give away, you get a ticket just for coming, right? And you get a ticket for every friend that you bring. Right? And then if they have a referral for you there, so this, you can't advertise this, but you can reward good behavior. If they say, oh, my friend so-and-so couldn't come, but they're thinking of moving, give them a ticket for the name, right? But don't tell them you're going to do that, because that is a RESPA violation. You can't tell people you're going to give them something for a referral. And if you have questions about that, check with your managing brokers. They will talk to you about how you can reward people for good behavior, but not violate the rules. So just be careful about that. Make sure you know the compliance around that. So, but then, and you can do other things through it, like have them do, if it's an event that they're coming to in person, or, I guess it could be virtual too. Like we talked about the scavenger hunt, every item they find, they can get a raffle ticket for, right? So, and then at the end of the event, you put all their raffle tickets in a hat, pull out the name, whatever you want to do, right? I feel like I'm saying right a lot today.
Right you are.
So Amy, is there anybody on the call that has been doing client events that have had success with certain ones?
Anybody that has a favorite type of event? So I know I have a team that I work with a lot. They do a steak dinner event for their top clients, those VIP clients every year. That goes over really well. And they know that when they advertise, when they invite people and advertise the event, they tell them like, you're one of our top clients, referral partners, whatever the languages they want to use around that. And they have a lender come help sponsor it. They do little swag bags. Anybody that was invited and can't make it, they do a pop by after the event and still give them their little bag as a, so sorry, we missed you this year. We didn't want you to miss out on all the goodies. And sometimes they'll even give them a gift card to the restaurant, maybe not enough to cover, $100 meal, but something to, give them a little thank you for all the business they've sent their way.
We do an annual event, and it's Pie Day. It's on March 14th, and we order pizzas. And we actually do an Eventbrite where they have to sign up for pizza. They get to pick their choice. And we blast it to our entire database. So this may be a cold lead that we've had sitting in there that will show up for a $5.99 pizza. And we get at least 2 listings out of that every year, and it covers the cost of the pizza. We don't have to have a sponsor. It's cheap, it's fun, and everybody loves pizza.
That's perfect. So how do you take that to the next level?
God, I don't know if we could. I think we gave out 200 pizzas last year.
Are
We
they
do-
taking pictures and posting on social? Do you use social media?
We do, but our state was hit pretty hard with COVID, so a lot of stuff there was some backlash for things done on social media by other realtors, so we kind of took a step back from that.
I gotcha.
But this year, we're still kind of reeling from it, but not as bad. So we'll be able to do it with next year's event.
So
Yes.
Deborah, do you do that at a pizza place and they come to the pizza place to pick up their pizza?
No, they come to our offices. We are
Oh,
in this
got it.
weird little funky spot, and we have a massive parking lot. And before COVID hit, we started an annual event in the fall called Party in the Parking Lot, where we brought in a band. We had swag bags, we had picnic tables. Everybody could just come out and play cornhole and listen to the band, have some free food. And we were hoping to do that again, but the last few years have been a little hairy. So we're very fortunate to have this weird little spot that's convenient to everybody and has massive parking.
And if you don't have that, maybe one of your lenders does, maybe your real estate office does. My Glen Ellen office has a huge lot. We've got a big park behind it. So if you don't have it yourself, near your home, see who you know that you can partner up with to do it.
And even if you've got a nice city park that has shelter, you can do it there.
Or bring a pop-up tent, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had people do stuff like that with ice cream in our lot. We've had people do shred events have always been really popular, and those are still safe right now because you're not going to have 50 people in the same spot, and typically you get a truck to come, so it's already outdoors, and people have a safe way to get rid of all that old paperwork they don't want laying around the house anymore. And then again, if you have people coming and they're really purging, why are they purging? Are they thinking of moving? Are they cleaning up? You never know, right? So we've seen a lot of success with shred events. We've had people do Pie Day in November for pie for Thanksgiving. Same type of idea, but they give them their Thanksgiving pie.
That's how we came to the March 14th Pie Day, because so many realtors in our area do pies at Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And we didn't want to be like everybody else.
Yeah, I love that.
I was thinking about something with a pie day too, and not wanting to do it at Thanksgiving. And I thought maybe do something like at 4th of July and have it, rather than being, do you want pumpkin or whatever that you could do? Do you want apple pie or cherry pie?
Yeah.
Something like that. That's more a summary kind of a thing.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be pie. It can be anything, right?
And for our Thanksgiving pot buys and drop-offs, we actually flipped the script. So this year we did a can of cranberry sauce, stovetop stuffing, and gravy. And a lot of this stuff you can bulk order from Dollar Tree and they will deliver it to you.
Nice. That's awesome. What about, okay, so let's go back to your pizza. Are these like take and bake, or are they cooked?
There are no take and bakes here,
Okay.
so they're all pre-cooked.
All right. So are they coming from a restaurant?
They're coming from Dominos and we get a bulk discount, so we don't have to partner and push somebody else's business. It's just totally focused on the team.
And Dominic's are franchised, right?
Yep.
So is it something that maybe you could get coupons for if somebody can't make it and give them a coupon for the same cost of the pie that you would have provided to them?
Possibly.
So there's a thought on that. I've had people do kind of restaurant packages like that, whether it's a pizza or a taco or, you know, any restaurant that's a local restaurant, because we all like to support local, right? See if they'll partner with you for their packaging, that if they come in and purchase a pie or, you know, their take and bake meal or whatever it is, they get a coupon for another one that you as the agent then cover the cost of, but you get the discounted rate because, you know, you're sending so many people their way, stuff like that. And that way they share it with a friend, they tell their friends to go and you collect all their information, because you would have to get their information to be able to reward them with the follow-up coupon essentially.
We do that with the Wendy's Frosty cards in January when they become available. We go and buy them in bulk.
Perfect.
And it's actually a tax write-off because all the money goes to Dave Thomas's Adoption Foundation. So it's a double win.
Love it. That brings up another idea. What are some local, I don't know if charity is the right word, but you know, 1031s in your area that you believe in their efforts, right? Is there something you can do with them? We did a huge food drive in one of my offices last year for Red Day, and like hundreds of pounds of food were donated to go to this church that has a food pantry. So that's also, we also do a coat drive every year, and we actually partner with a moving company. They give us a ton of boxes. We have one at the office. The agents take them around to their homes or local businesses, put a flyer on it. They door knock. Everybody does it a little different. I know the people I think that have seen the most success with it is they just utilize the box in the office or a couple of local places. They go and door knock in their neighborhood and tell them, hey, we're doing this coat drive. I'll be back in the neighborhood this day and time. I'd love to pick up any, you know, the items change every year, coats, gloves, hats, whatever's needed, right? If you're not available, just leave it in a bag on the front and I will grab it from you. If you are, you know, I'll knock and we'll have a conversation, whatever, right? Or some people will say, you know, if they're already close with their neighborhood, just drop it off at my house, or you can always bring it to my office, or I have it at this local shop as well. And they find that as a really good way to make a connection with their neighbors. They're giving back to the community. They're able to build those relationships. And especially when they do have that connection of like, they're going back to the homes and collecting the coats in person, they know who gave the coats. So then they can do a follow-up as a thank you as well. So that's another fun way. Oh, I see some questions came in. Oh, how do we keep the pizzas warm? Oh, the kitchen in the office. Nice. That was important. Got to keep them warm.
What type of pizza do you offer?
We'll offer them the cheese, the pepperoni, and then a garden vegetable.
Okay.
And by far, pepperoni is the most popular pizza.
Wow. Yeah, what other event questions do you guys have? Oh, I told you I would put in my newsletter link.
So I just wanted to know what people do for like Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, either event at the office, a pop by, just something, since these are right around the corner, that you engage your database in your farm area.
Anybody doing anything?
Well, our office at Innovate's doing a trunk or treat.
Fun.
And we do a chili cook-off. So, and then this year, I'm on the culture committee for it. So this year we're having some kids games, and we're going to be talking with a lot of our allied resources, our lenders, attorneys, that type of stuff. and try to get sponsors for the event. We're going to have a food truck. So that takes place right in our office parking lot. It's just 2 hours on October 30th. It's from noon to 2, I think it is. And then that way everybody kind of decorates their trunks and hands out candy, and then you just invite whoever you want.
Great. And I've also seen people do like haunted houses or haunted trails, depending on what's around your home. I'm not necessarily at the office. I have an agent who, her and her husband literally build a haunted house like in their front yard every year. So that's kind of fun too. And like I said, the reverse retreating. I love the idea of doing it at the office, Lynn, and the chili cook-off. How fun. And that's something, if you had to do that over Zoom, I know it's not as fun because you can't, not everybody can taste all the chili, but you guys can post pictures and compare ingredients and just start a whole conversation around it, right? And but you could have everybody hop in on Zoom, like have a goal of a certain time to end the cook-off, right? So you can have check-ins throughout the day and people can show what their chili looks like at different phases, stuff like that.
You know, when you were talking about the virtual cooking before, when you're talking about Chopped, it could be fun to do the virtual cook-off with little kids with baking cookies for Christmas or something like that.
Totally. And then you could have them send in pictures and everybody could vote on their favorite cookies.
That's true.
Extend the fun.
Do you know anyone that's done like a mini session portraits for Christmas and things like that? And how does that go?
Yeah, we, for the past few years, I know in a few of our offices, we'll have a few different groups, like either different teams or individual agents. They'll pull together and do like a Santa event at the office where they'll have some craft type of activity, whether it's cookies or ornaments or something for the kids to do. And they have a Santa in the office, and then the kids can come take pictures with Santa. I have heard of people doing virtual sessions. I don't know all the details on that, but I'm sure if you looked it up, you could find out how to get a virtual Santa event together. But that is something we've done for several years in my area. Same thing with like Easter, you know, the Easter Bunny, stuff like that.
There's a group in our office that does fall pictures, either family or individual with the kids. In the particular case, it's by the covered bridge on the Naperville Riverwalk, but you could do it, you know, in any park or anything like that.
I have an agent that did that for Mother's Day.
That's
They
good.
had a photography package that they gave, and they just opened it up to all their clients, and you know, whoever wanted it took advantage and whoever didn't. It's just a nice little service to offer them as a thank you. What other holidays? So Christmas, Halloween, we talked about. Thanksgiving with pies is like the biggest thing I've seen, but I mean, chili could be around Thanksgiving too.
I like the reverse Thanksgiving with giving them gravy and stuffing. And
We usually do the coat drive around that time of year. One of our offices does, their town has like a Christmas walk, and so they're a stop on the Christmas walk, and they've had the Grinch come a couple of years in a row. So that was fun. And then anybody that was an agent in the office that wanted to participate just invited their clients to come on the Christmas walk, and then they were at the office and there to greet them as well. And then obviously if somebody was new who was on the Christmas walk but not a client of anybody in the office, it's a way to meet some new people that way too.
yeah, it's nice when you can piggyback on something that's already happening.
Yeah, I've seen like scarecrow walks. I've seen, you know, the Christmas walk like that. So see if what's going on in your town. See if there's something that you can, you know, be a stop on a walk, or just encourage people to go to, and you be there and meet up with them, or like have a little giveaway, like, hey, I'm going to be at this event and I'm handing out these fun little things, right? And tell them what it is, and then they'll be more likely to reach out and be like, yeah, hey, I'm here too. Where can I find you? I want to get your cool little thing that you're giving away. Or again, doesn't have to be something, maybe you give everybody some little thing and a raffle ticket to win a bigger prize, right? That's kind of playing. Does anybody know what the reverse bold 100 is?
Me.
Okay, what is it?
It is when you, rather than you calling out to 100 new people, you advertise ahead of time and then have them call in to your office.
Mhm.
And then it's for prizes, either multiple prizes or a big prize for which they can get multiple tickets depending on what they do.
Exactly. So let's say this is how you could do a spin on that with a client, with like a community event that's going on. You would have to go to the event. You can help advertise that this event is going on and say that you're going to be there. And if they come and find you, you'll give them a raffle ticket for whatever the prize is that you've decided to give out, whether you want to pay for it or get a sponsor to help, you know, co-brand it with you. And then you collect all the information from the people in order to give them their raffle ticket. And those are all the new leads you have coming in. And then one person wins the prize, but you have, the goal is at least 100 new contacts.
Mhm.
So that's a way to get new people. Some people will do that on, you know, not at a client or not at like a community event. They just do it, and you advertise on social media. They post it in their stories on Facebook, on Instagram. If they're on YouTube, they'll do a video. You do calls to your clients to let them know what's going on. Tell them that their friends can participate in it too, to share it with their friends. That's how you get your clients and new people involved. So there's lots of fun things you can do around the reverse bold 100. But what's nice about it is that you're encouraging people to reach out to you. So it's a little different. Instead of you follow up, you finally have some people, new people just calling you.
Yep.
And if
One
you're
thing
looking for super inexpensive drop-bys, go to Facebook. There's several Facebook realtor pages dedicated to inexpensive drop-bys and ideas.
Perfect. I love it. Pinterest has a million ideas. Oh my gosh, you guys, the time has flown today. It's already 1:57. Okay, I have a 2 o'clock. So I want to know, is there something we haven't answered or talked about that you guys want to hear before we hop off the call? Oh, I missed that. What was that, Mark?
I was just saying, no, not really. I tried a couple of months ago when, you know, the COVID thing was really big around here, and I tried to contact a theater. We have one theater chain that runs like all the theaters here in town. And I thought, you know, I could rent a theater, you know, and then put on a movie. I made a little list of real estate movies, you know, like The Money Pit and Cleric and Ross, stuff like that. And I thought, you know, I could invite my sphere, you know, to come on down and have a movie and, you know, popcorn on me. Yeah, they weren't all that interested in it. So I came in here looking for ideas, you know, like it said at the very beginning, somebody said, you know, not everybody in my region is doing, you know. So I've got a couple. I got some notes here. We'll see how it goes.
On the movie line, I know of a lot of people that have done stuff like that, and they tend to do book a theater for like the weekend of a release of like a family movie.
Yeah.
They get a lot of people to come for
That's
that.
the tricky thing. There aren't a lot of movies being released, and there
Not right
aren't
now. I mean, there's more coming
Yeah.
out than there had been.
and there aren't a lot of family movies, you know, too. You probably have noticed because you have super HD video there in Illinois. I'm a large guy, and I could be a perfect Santa. What do you think of the idea of, I mail out my sphere and say, hey, why don't you call me with a date and time and a child's name? And I will call little Jessica and talk to her as Santa from the North Pole.
That's amazing. And I know people that have done something like that that have gone.
Are they rich?
home. Are they rich? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I said, are they rich yet? Because I need some home runs here, you know.
But
Yeah.
it's a great way to connect with people. Santa has gone home to home or Zoom to Zoom, right? And they get that personal call. I think that's a fantastic idea.
Oh, I never even thought about dressing up and doing a Zoom call. Oh,
Mm.
maybe I'll let this grow out a little more.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
I just got a notification that my appointment is in my next Zoom, so I'm gonna let you guys go, but feel free to connect with each other, share
Yeah.
some ideas. And next week, same time, I will be doing intro to KW websites, setting up your agent sites.
Oh, good, good. All right, thank you.
All right, I'll see you then.
Thanks, Amy.